Well, yeah, if you guys are arguing because he wants his TV back, that's why we got called out here.
Huh? This guy's a scammer. He's a scammer, malammer. I can pay him $200 a month.
I can't believe you did me. Your mama thought that we were gonna last. I thought it too. First true love, I let you stay with me. I let you tote on Glocks and K's with me. And I really want you to know. Break your heart in centimeters, what I'ma do to know.
Yo, what is up everyone? It is Mikey or NJ here, back with another fucking video. So for today's video, we got some CSGO b-hopping in the background because a lot of you guys have been telling me to switch it up from Fortnite and stuff, and they like the way CSGO and these games look. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this gameplay. And yeah, I'm pretty shit at b-hopping, so just disregard it, but just pretend I'm good, alright? Maybe close your eyes and just pretend I'm good at it. But anyways, today's video is actually one I'm really excited to do because it's not a story, guys. I know. Fucking crazy. So this is gonna be more of like an informative and like giving my own personal opinion type video because these have recently blew up and I just want to, you know, give my side on it and what I think about them and if they're safe or not. So yeah, today I'll be doing the pros and cons of dab cartridges. So it's not really necessary that I explain what they are because if you're on this channel, you definitely know what a dab cartridge is. You probably definitely use them yourself. How many times did I just say definitely, dude? So if you guys are in high school, college, or anything like that, which I imagine most of you guys are, not trying to make assumptions here. If any of you watching are like 32-year-old feminists, I don't know, welcome. But yeah, chances are you're probably not 32 and you're probably a student and you know exactly what these are because they've blown the fuck up in like schools, colleges, and anything like that, just like around the youth of America. I just used the word youth. Seriously, that's a first for me, guys. I feel like the only time I've heard youth of America used legitimately in a sentence was in like an anti-smoking ad. But aside from that, let's get into the subject at hand. So to start this video off positive, let's kick it off with the pros. So the first pro is going to be that these are extremely easy to conceal. Now this either doesn't affect you or it does, because I know a lot of people do have to hide these, whether it's from their parents or from authorities and whatnot. Whatever it may be, you might have to hide these things, and if that's the case, you are in luck because these things are tiny. Literally all that's needed to use these is just a cart and a battery. That's it. A tiny little cart and a tiny little battery in which to use it with. Now in comparison to smoking actual weed, like flower, bud, whatever you want to call it, it's a lot more convenient and a lot more concealable. I don't fucking think concealable is a word. Let's just say more easy to conceal. Because with bud, you need your bag of weed, you need something to smoke it with, like a bong, papers, a bowl, whatever it may be. It takes up a lot more space than a tiny little cart and a tiny little device to smoke it with does. So if you needed to get it anywhere, like maybe you were going to a friend's house and you couldn't have your parents or anyone see it, you just stick it in your bag, hide it somewhere, and you're all set. So the next pro on the list does somewhat tie in with the first one, and that is going to be the smell. Now everybody knows, even non-smokers know, when you smoke weed, it's a really recognizable and strong odor it creates, which is the cause for a lot of people getting caught and a lot of people getting in trouble. So if you are someone that's affected by this, carts could be the way to go. Although some of them do smell, it's not nearly as strong as actual bud does, and it's really easy to cover up and get rid of, and it goes away after a few minutes. And there's a few I've come across that actually do not smell like weed at all. Now the third and final pro that I'm going to discuss in this video is that they last a lot longer than actual weed does. Now this is great because one of the biggest problems with smoking weed is that people spend too much money on it and it ends up burning through all their money. Even though it doesn't cost a ton, if you do smoke often and you smoke a lot, you'll end up really noticing that you're going through a lot of your cash really quickly. And personally, I know this is a problem for a lot of people, and you can almost completely eliminate it with carts. So now that we've covered all the great positives and pros of weed cartridges, let's get into the negatives, the cons, if you will. Now the first con on the list is going to be the possibility of exposure to pesticides and other potentially dangerous chemicals. Now the potential for pesticides being on your carts comes from spraying of different chemicals and pesticides while the plant is growing. These pesticides are used to speed up the process of growing and maintain the health of the plant. Now, most companies will test their distillate for pesticides, but you just still got to be careful because there are those off-brand carts that are literally made in people's basements that they just stamp a sticker on and act like it's a real brand and try to sell it to kids in school. And I know how fucked up that sounds, but that's because it is. Like, there's literally drug dealers that'll make these carts and then they'll sell them as real brands, even though they're not. Like, you could Google it and not find shit on what you're buying. So yeah, for that one, you just gotta be careful and definitely do your research before you start using a cart and know what you're smoking, because it could be bad. If you're someone that's using Supreme, Mario, or Exotic carts, I think that's what they're called, Exotic. Like, any of those three, I would stop, because you can buy those printed labels off like Amazon and stuff, like, or not Amazon, off like eBay and shit, and then just stamp them on whatever the people make. And yeah, you never really know what you're actually getting. And I know there might be on the label that says like it's 97% THC, but they really don't know that. They're just saying that to, you know, market it as safe even when it might not be. But as long as you do your research and you know what you're actually smoking, then this one shouldn't be a problem and you should be all set to, you know, smoke away. So the second con for these carts is a boosted tolerance. Now this one's a big one. I've noticed it like through personal use, and like I know it's happened to a ton of other people, and it just genuinely happens. So this is the case for all high THC distillate and like wax and everything like that, like even dabs. It's not just for carts, but I'll tell you why carts are more dangerous or more susceptible for increasing your tolerance in a second. Oh, I swear I have like a lisp, bro. I swear I have like a tiny lisp, like an underlying lisp that like attacks me at random moments. I'm also still sick as fuck, so that's an issue. But anyways, yeah, any extracted THC distillate will increase your tolerance if you do it a lot. Like, that's just the way it is. But carts are definitely more dangerous for this, and I'll get into that in a second. I don't know why this is exactly. I think it's just because it's like concentrate and it's like way more potent than actual bud. But dabs tend to not really be a problem because you don't do dabs that often. Like, most people don't, because you have to have the rig set up, and you like, dabs are expensive. They're hard to get and like do super often. But with carts, it's the exact opposite. So if you have yourself a pen in a cart, you'll find yourself doing it really often because it's just right at your fingertips. It's so easy to use, convenient, and you can just do it at any time, any place, as long as you're not being retarded while you're on it. And literally, after only about a week or two of using it, you'll notice your tolerance just jump a ton. And when I say using it, I mean using it like a lot, like a couple times a day. But if you limit yourself, you should be okay. But yeah, if you find yourself doing it a lot, you will notice that your tolerance goes up crazy amounts, and it's really hard to drop. Like, you have to take some long ass tea breaks. Like, I remember I took a 3-month one and it didn't even fully take off my tolerance. So yeah, that kind of sucked. But yeah, that con, not a huge one, but it does kind of suck, and it's definitely not good. So the last con for these carts that I'm going to bring you guys today is convenience. And I know what you guys are saying, convenience? How's that a bad thing? That's a great thing. We love how convenient it is. And don't worry, I do too. But at the same time, it can be a bad thing and lead to some shitty stuff. So seeing that these pens and carts are so convenient to use, you can just do it at any time, like literally with no thought going into it, no planning, no anything. You can just whip the motherfucker out at any given time and just get high as fuck. So with that being the case, it makes it really easy to do it, and you'll find yourself doing it way more than you initially planned to. Just since it's so easy for you to access, do, and just it's a great feeling and everything. No, I know it's not addictive. I know it's not physically addictive. It can be mentally addictive if you have an addictive personality. That's what I've been told by a lot of people, that they've been like mentally addicted, and I do believe it because it's a very real thing. Like, if you have an addictive personality, you can get addicted to it. But when I say this, don't get alarmed, because literally, if you're mentally addicted, so-called, you can literally just stop at any given time and you won't suffer withdrawals, anything, any health effects from it. But it just means that you like really like doing it, and you'll do it often because you really like the feeling. And that goes for anything. That goes like for being addicted to literally anything. So it's not just like weed, it's like... Now, I hate to change the subject at hand so much, but if anybody tries to use that whole mental addiction thing on you to why pot is bad, that's just bullshit, because it's literally applies to anything that is good, or anything that feels good, or anything anyone can enjoy doing. But yeah, I don't know why I'm getting into that. That's really not the point I'm trying to make. Really, it is that you'll just find yourself doing it a lot more than you had wanted to. And if you're not someone that's open to like doing it a couple times a day, then yeah, maybe they're not for you. Or maybe if you have self-control, unlike me, maybe it's just me, guys. Maybe I just have no self-control. But if you can limit yourself and you want to use them, go for it. Just know what you're smoking, be safe, always take safe precautions before you do anything. And yeah, there you go, life lessons with NJ. But yeah, anyways guys, I hope you did enjoy this video or found it helpful in any way. And if you did, please slap that like button and leave some feedback in the comments. I really want to know from you guys if you did enjoy this and you want to see more of this type of content. Because I really love making the stories and I know you guys like them too. But if you do want to see stuff like this as well, because I want to broaden my content a little bit, then definitely let me know, because I enjoyed making this. I think it's really like fun and informative for you guys that don't know this stuff. And yeah, it's been NJ. Peace, guys. I love you all. Literally, I say it every video, but I love you guys so much. And I just dropped my phone. Like, what the fuck? Alright, boys, but this has been ASMR with NJ. I'll see you next time. I hope you enjoyed, and have a beautiful day. I've never wanted to kill myself so much as that moment. Alright, peace, guys.
So baby, so long, I'm not playing fair. I'm not playing fair with my love no more. So baby, so long,